Subscribe to Simply Bitcoin.
What is someone supposed to say like that?
Yeah, I mean, the only worst question is when strike Europe, right? That's the only.
Let them
I can't wait to get in there.
Damn it.
I should be up for like 2021 like asshole of the year porn star awards.
Yeah.
Getting absolutely fucked.
All right.
Son.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome into another episode of the Meme Factory podcast. This is test stream number 18. We're not doing any real streams. We're not getting any. Fuck you, Yellow. This evening we got Jack Mallers with us. This guy's done some stuff in Bitcoin, stuff.
Yeah,
And,
upcoming guy. Like we just met. Like he's doing some stuff.
He's doing okay.
Yeah. I saw him like around Twitter.
He just left Twitter, I think, didn't he?
He did. Did you?
Just resigned from
No.
Twitter.
That's the guy. The guy we're interviewing today is like another Jack.
No.
Oh,
There's only
What?
one Jack.
Jack Ballers.
You can only have the one Jack.
Jack Ballers.
Yeah, Jack is the scarcest thing on the planet. There's only one. We
Exactly.
just materialize
monetize
in
it.
different forms.
That's what I'm saying. All right, Jack. Welcome on the show this evening, man.
But first of all, man, before I start fucking around, you guys are the best. I love your guys' work. As much as you're gonna like be childish and be like, what work? We're fucking stupid. Like, you guys are the best, and I appreciate you guys. And thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to clown with you guys tonight.
No, you are the best.
There's nothing clownish about this program. I want to tell you that right off the bat. This is a very serious program. People, the great minds in Bitcoin come in here to discuss philosophical ideals and upcoming projects. To that end, to keep that kind of content going, we have to be funded. So one of the ways we do that is by we solicit sponsorship that we tell them that we are going to get our guests to read for us because we don't have any notoriety ourselves. I've already sent you a copy of the ad script. If you could go ahead and read that so that we can just get on with the show.
Yeah, I'm real nervous because I saw a Sailor episode and I haven't read this in advance. You guys just sent it to me. But hey, no problem. This is a business. Fuck. Hi.
Familia, sir.
Jack Mallers here to introduce you to Real Women's Closets. Do you feel threatened by the scary dog outside? Just want to use my closet for other reasons? Use my closet. Seriously. The hardworking folks at Real Women's Closets will furnish your home with an empty women's closet with the same exact specifications as the one I broadcast from regularly, as seen behind me. How are you going to communicate with them on building out of your closet? By sending 1-cent messages to them on strike. Real Women's Closets has plugged into the world's first open monetary network for sending messages, and their product has gotten 100 times better because they can settle their conversions instantly and at no cost with finality. Need a podcasting and mining solution? Great! Real Women's, I assume it means Real Women's Closet, whoever wrote this typo, has you covered with the new mining closet. Now, with the addition of a black box, it's hot and silent. Do you wear some chunky ass shoes that need a lot of closet space? These closets are for you. Want to get away from your family and responsibilities for a while? Just hop in the closet. Is everybody all up in your anus about the European release of your app? Real Women's Closets has just the closet for you. If you head over to their website today, use the discount YO for 6.15% off of your order of a Real Women's Closet.
Hey.
Thank you. You can get paid now. Thank you.
You can go now.
You can buy Labrador dog food.
Oh, what's up, man? How you feeling tonight?
Oh shit, I was muted, my bad. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Another day, another sat. I'm excited to be here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Oh, where are my manners? Fuck you, Greg.
Exactly.
Much better. How many times a week do you think you say that to me?
A lot.
Yeah.
those that don't know, in the Strike corporate Slack channel, we have a meme channel, and it's basically just like us talking about ideas. And then whenever Greg says anything, we just like shit on him out of love, though. It's like part of our corporate strategy.
It is. It's
Yeah.
corporate culture at this point.
Yeah. Yep. What do you do? No, I'm good though, man. How are you guys?
We're good. We're ending the year with a bang. It's been a fun year. It's been an awesome year, to be honest. Like, even if like we're like in our houses with the COVID shit, like it's been fun, man. I cannot complain.
Good.
How about you, Labra?
Yo. I'm really good. It's been an awesome year. I really love what you're doing, Jack. Like what you did in El Salvador, helping those people. That was freaking awesome. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah. What do you want to know? The fuck kind of question was that?
That's a Labra question.
I don't
Just
know.
tell us something. Pick something at random
I'm
now.
just a dog.
Tell them about the quality of the sand on the beach. That's the kind of answer.
Dude, I mean, El Salvador is beautiful.
Do you surf? Or no?
I don't surf, but I did. That was the first time I had ever really surfed, and the Zante folks taught me. It was awesome. I have a video. I'll tweet it or something. Caught a few waves. No, dude, the country's beautiful. The people are beautiful, and for a lot of reasons, that was the coolest, arguably most important thing I'll ever be a part of. So it was humbling. It was inspiring. It was motivating. It was rewarding. It was challenging. You know what I mean? It was just one of those all-encompassing life moments that I'll obviously never forget. So it was crazy. It was awesome, though. And much bigger than me, by the way, for the record.
How is it that like, even when we started memeing for you guys, like the company grew so much, like in so sort of a period of time, like how is that? Seeing that, like, have you realized that how big Strike is now? Like, it's one of the biggest Bitcoin companies, like, and it's becoming one of the biggest companies in general, right?
Yeah, dude. Fuck. I'm like torn on like when I'm supposed to joke with you guys and when I got.
No, you can do both.
Yeah, no. It yeah, this has been the craziest year of my life. Easily. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, I try not to think about it because in a lot of ways it's just not really helpful. Like outside opinions and what people think about me and about us doesn't really matter. I'm just a big fan of, Bitcoin as the monetary system for the world. And at the end of the day, the best experiences are going to win in a free market. And so I try not to think about it and just stay true to myself and to our mission. But no, it's definitely been crazy in a good and bad way. It's the first time in my life, like if I want to feel shitty about myself, all I have to do is open my phone and go on the internet, right? And I can go find lies about me and rumors about my company and shit. And that's been crazy. But it's also been just one of the more rewarding experiences of all time. And I had this thesis on like life in general, that any human wants two things inherently. It's to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Naturally, I think human beings don't want to live and die alone. And so you seek out marriage, you seek out a family, you seek out being in an intramural basketball team, you seek out community, you seek out friends. And then the other is that people want to work on something that will last longer than they will, in some sense of like eternal presence and like what I would describe as legacy. And I think Bitcoin uniquely allows for that in the most powerful way. And Bitcoin is probably one of the best tools to allow any human being to do right by their species in that profound way. And I've just been so grateful to find myself in that position and be contributing to Bitcoin as a project in the way that I am, and achieving a scale to where I feel I'm making a difference sometimes, not all the time. So I feel grateful in that sense, and I'm learning to deal with a lot of the noise that comes with it. But Yeah, dude, it was like 18 months ago. I was kind of hacking by myself, more or less, and it's not the case today. So it's been wild.
What's like, to end my question? What's the funniest rumor you heard about yourself?
I mean, dude, it's fucking ridiculous. There's a list. I mean, funniest.
Weirdest, I don't know.
Is there really a list?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. There's like
That we'd find the funniest, given that
Yeah.
we're doing a show here. Yeah.
yeah, there's like hit pieces all the time that I was a weed entrepreneur and that all my work in Bitcoin is like underground cannabis like work, which is a lot.
Is that true?
No.
Is that what you're working with, El Salvador?
Yeah, we're just trafficking pounds.
John, that's racist.
There's rumor that I tried to charge the Salvadoran government $300 million.
And it was 400.
Or 400. That's a fucking lie. We could talk about that. That I am like manipulating Twitter about like Bitcoin or something, and that like something to do with like that's a lie. I don't know, pretty much everything. Like I'll get an article sent to me like every other day now, and it's just like I laugh at it at this point. But the thing that bothers me is when like people get my parents involved in shit. It's like be a fucking man. Like you're gonna make fun of me, make fun of me. Like leave my fucking mom out of it. But I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. In the beginning, it bothered me, but at this point, it's all good.
Yeah, it's hard for me to reconcile that you're some devious person controlling Twitter, but you're also the guy that fell off his own balcony.
Yeah, it wasn't my balcony.
Oh, sorry.
I was,
Get it right, Greg.
Yeah, dude. That's the other thing too. Is like for the people that are new to the industry, like I'm a pleb. I always will be. You know, and like it was. I don't know. Like all this shit happened more recent. But yeah, for the people that don't know, I almost died because I fell off a balcony in 2018. And like, I had 3 brain bleeds, I had a collapsed lung, and the doctor was like, "Damn, man." So,
And it
so
really
first of all-
shows up in the strike programming.
Oh no! Oh my god, that's why we're not in Europe. And so,
European-made balcony.
yeah, I had two CAT scans, and the doctors hit my parents up, and they were like, "Hey, your son is fucked. Like, if this next CAT scan doesn't work, he's gonna have to be a vegetable." And so I was in like extreme intensive care, all that shit, and they rolled me in for the 3rd one, and somehow my brain had stopped bleeding. And the funniest story is Andreas Antonopoulos had visited me. He's a family friend. And he had visited me and he was asking me questions about lightning. And we were talking about like neutrino and compact block filters and like a bunch of like complex shit. And my nurse thought I was like being an idiot because we were like talking about like bit 157 and she ran and got the doctor and was like, "He's not making sense." Like, the true story. And that's Andreas. And Andreas was like, no, his brain must be working. It must be working. They took me in for a CAT scan and my brain had stopped bleeding. And the doctor was like, "You're not going to be a vegetable, but you probably shouldn't do anything ambitious in life. Like your brain is wrecked, man. Like you should probably just like, I don't know, work a sales job or something." And I was like, "Nah, fuck that." And I started to strike. So that's what happened. But it wasn't my balcony. I was actually, it was in the middle of the night. I was trying to get laid. It was a chick's balcony.
This doesn't make it any better.
I mean, I'm not here to make it better or worse. I'm here to tell the truth, brother. I'm here to tell the truth.
You still with her?
Did you end up getting laid or what?
No, it was the girl.
Laid
He
out. You
just
got laid
told us he
out.
fell
Well,
off
I
the
mean, I
balcony.
didn't end up getting
Yeah.
laid because I fell and my fucking brain started bleeding, jackass. Like,
I
but
didn't say that night, dude.
oh no,
Are you insinuating he's a virgin?
no, this was the girl that I was in Paris with when I came up with Strike, and yeah, she like thought I was like an asshole because I was so obsessed with Bitcoin, and we split. So I'm not with her anymore. Yeah, I told that story in a different podcast. Someone could go Google that. But yeah, it's the truth.
All right.
I've heard your thoughts before on whether or not people should be using custodial Lightning or not. I'm really interested in what your thoughts are on whether or not there's a real centralization risk to the Lightning network.
In what sense? Like what would
In that, like most people using Lightning would use it using custodial services instead of non-custodial.
No, so here is, and you guys got to hold me accountable because I know I just rant all the time. But my wide-ranging thoughts are that Lightning is going to be, well, Bitcoin and the layers and optimization and standards that we build on top of it is going to be the singular standard, monetary standard for the world. And if that's true, I think we can learn a lot from the internet. The internet went through the same progression for communications, where communications used to be regionalized, localized, like maybe in Chicago, your newspaper was published on Monday, but in San Francisco is Tuesday, and in Europe it was every other month, right? And you had different standards, different ways of communicating, digesting information, and the internet dematerialized all of these independent forms of communication onto one standard. And then it became an inherent competition for the experience and the brand on top of that standard. And to be clear, there's not one internet company, right? It's not like winner takes all. There's a lot. And in my opinion, these internet companies optimize for a particular experience and brand on top of the global, free, instant communication standard for the world, right? Open, by the way, too. All you have to do is plug into TCP IP, right? The 7 layers of the internet, be interoperable with the system, and then you can communicate with the world. And so I think what Bitcoin is what the internet was for communication, Bitcoin is for money. And so the way I think about it is that there will be beginning to be an inherent competition for the experience and the brand on top of the singular, global, open, relatively free and relatively instant monetary standard for the planet. And I think there's going to be a lot of opinions on what is the best experience for particular things, right? Like, I think you're going to get custodial wallets, you're going to get wallets that interface with fiat, you're going to get wallets that are non-custodial, you're going to get wallets that optimize for privacy, you're going to get all these different things, right? And then eventually, what the beautiful thing is that the free market gets to decide now. Like, let me put it to you this way. I don't use Chase because I love the experience and the brand. I use Chase because I have to. Or it's interchangeable, right? With Citibank or whatever. I use Visa because I have to. I don't use Visa because they have a great experience and a great brand. Fuck Visa, right? But with something like an open standard like the internet, I use Twitter because I like it. And if the free market didn't like Twitter, there's a $50 billion incentive to build a better one. You know what I mean? And so the way I think about all this is like, I don't think it's a centralization risk. I think that, entrepreneurs and capitalism, all these things are going to drive a lot of innovation, a lot of competition. And eventually the winners that will prop to the top will be best experience, best brand. That's why I have a Facebook account, not a MySpace account. And so that's the way I think about it. And I don't think there's going to be one Lightning Network company that's going to win it all. Like, there's not one internet company, right? There's going to be a lot. And maybe the market for non-custodial private Tor is a little smaller than the mainstream one that everyone at Starbucks is using in 10 years. But who knows? The free market is going to decide that for us. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't see there to be risks at all. To be quite honest, the thing that I'm defensive over is ensuring that we're building the standard itself, not the solutions and the experiences and the brands on top of the standard, but the actual standard. So the Lightning specification and a lot of the protocol specs or LNURL, things like that, is ensuring that we're building it in a way that is protective over inclusivity, accessibility, making sure that it's resilient, shit like that. Because here's why. When I talk to, I have to respect non-disclosures and shit nowadays, but when I talk to like some of the biggest companies in the world, they all listen to these podcasts.
Nobody watches this. You could drop whatever here.
I mean, I know you're kidding, bro.
We're protected. We're
My mom
protected.
does. My mom does.
You'd be surprised. And so I'm talking to one of the biggest financial companies in the world. And the guy, and we're talking about, and what he told me, he's the CEO, by the way. And what he told me was, he's like, we can all smell blood in the water. And it's kind of a game of who's going to do the murdering and who's going to get murdered. Everyone can feel a great value transfer happening in real time. Like nobody thinks, like, my fucking kids are not going to be banking at the brick and mortar Chase 2 blocks down the street from this closet in 30 years, right? And I'll tell you this too, they're not going to be banking at Chime, because in 2018, Chime was the first to come out with 2-day early direct deposit. Get the fuck out of here. 30 years from now? No. Strike can copy that feature. Everyone's going to have a debit card. Everyone's going to have rewards. Everyone's going to have all that shit. Where are my kids going to bank in 30 years? Who has the best experience and the best brand on top of the world's monetary network? That's my opinion. And that's the conversations I'm having with these people. And this dude looked at me and he said, CEO, like if I were to spill the name, you guys would be like, holy shit. He said, listen, if you think you got Jamie Dimon in a perfect position, you got him where you want him because you know the Lightning Network and he doesn't, you're wrong. Jamie Dimon's not going to compete with you on the world's open monetary network. Jamie Dimon's going to compete with you in Washington, D.C. And that's what he told me. He's like, that's where Jamie Dimon competes with me. Yeah. That's why my company's slow. That's why we're restricted. That's why we can't do what we want. And the concept of an open monetary network that's resilient and inclusive to everyone is beautiful, because DC can't do shit about that. But we have to protect that. So that's where I'm defensive. That's where I want to make sure that we are inclusive and that every solution can stand on its own feet, and that we don't build a standard that ends up incentivizing the only real interoperability, our only real great experience on top of the standard. The only way that people deem like a good experience that's interoperable is some centralized service. Then we're in trouble, because then 5 years from now, the best way to interface with Lightning is to have a Facebook account and a Cash App account and a Strike account. And then Jamie Dimon goes to Washington, D.C. and he's like, all those web servers that are hosting everyone, like, it's bad for the dollar, crush them. What we want is to make sure that we actually build a standard that allows for as many experiences as possible. It allows us to be more resilient against that threat. So that, I think, as long as the standard at the very low level is optimized around those properties, then it's a free market competition to the best experience. There's gonna be a ton of different shit, right? And like Strike will iterate through it. Everyone will iterate through it. And maybe free market likes pink. Maybe the free market likes this amount of rewards and shit, and it'll be great, right? And the consumer can walk into a Starbucks and have an open interoperable QR code in their face, and they can pick whatever the fuck they want to scan it. And then, like, you know what I mean? So that's the world I want. And so I'm defensive over the standard, and not in like a controlling way. That's just like my opinion. I don't know, I could be an idiot. But yeah, I don't know, rant over that. Those are my thoughts.
It sounds like,
how are you focusing on, like, I mean, you've clearly got a shitload of ideas in your head, Jack, and when you talk, you spill all this great stuff out, and it's cool to hear, and it excites all of us as well about what the future holds. But how do you figure out what to focus on? Because I agree. I think the UX thing is a massive killer point, right? It's not just the digitalization of money. It's not just the digitalization of energy or the digitalization of gold. I think the UX really does play an important part of it. So how do you figure out what to focus on, what the important things are, and where you're going to get the biggest bang for your effort?
Yeah, it's a good question. And a lot of the things I talk about internally to the leadership of the company is exactly that. Like, people think that I fear Cash App launching Lightning. I encourage it. I do anything if they need my help to make it happen, because my opinion is that the value transfer is going to go away from Western Union, TransferWise, MoneyGram, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, and it's going to go into whoever can capture that value on the new monetary network for the world. And there's going to be many winners. You know, we're sharing a massive fucking pie. And so, but in order for the thesis to work, it has to be a collective optimizing on the singular monetary network instead of like just me conquering it all. That would be fucking stupid. That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't imply network effects, economies of scale. And so what I tell internally to the leadership of the company is like, we're in a great spot. We've positioned ourselves as thought leaders. Like, this is a crazy fucking idea. It's working. And, where we're going to win or lose is our ability to prioritize and be good at a few things instead of be okay at everything, right? There's no internet company that was successful that was like kind of decent at every internet feature that allows you to get a restaurant reservation, text your friends, tweet, take your social life and replicate it on the web like Facebook. Like there's right, like what you end up having to do in an open system is focus on an experience and a brand and be one of the best at it. And it's actually very lucrative. That's how you make hundreds of billions of dollars. That's how you change the world and service billions of people. And so that's where we're at is like, I mean, dude, 18 months ago, I would say some of this shit and everyone would be like, dude, didn't that kid just like crack his head open? and now people are receptive to it and think it's interesting. And we're starting to approach a time where like, it's going to be hyper competitive over particular experiences and a particular brand and something that the consumer resonates with. And so that's just very transparently what's going through my head right now. And so, I mean, on a day to day, like, how do I prioritize? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's like worth that level of detail on the podcast, but I think that's kind of the mental model I come with is yeah, I mean, dude, like people want Europe, people want the card, people want a ton of shit. And I sit back, I take it very seriously. I talk about it with my team and we just do what we think is best for supporting the vision that I'm talking about. Because I actually don't, the beautiful thing too about Strike is that I don't have to be selfish. Is that if I can just act in the best interest of Bitcoin, then my company will do well. And I've purposefully aligned incentives in that way because it's easier to build that way. That way I will never have to act against the best interest of the network. You know what I mean? And so I just look at everything that's being asked of me, look at every opportunity we have. And then I think like, what would be best for Bitcoin? How can I be most helpful in making this the monetary network for the world? Because I think it will make the world a better place. And then I know if I'm successful at that, Strike will be doing really well because I'm confident we'll be one of the best experiences on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the other day you were talking to the IMF about Bitcoin too. You're using like peanuts and some chips and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the IMF, you know, when El Salvador said that they were going to use Bitcoin as legal tender, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to help. The IMF said we're not going to help El Salvador out. And so it's interesting. And then you went and spoke with the IMF. Did you get any feedback from them after, or what was that experience like for you? Just kind of going and speaking to those people? Because, I mean, you talked about DC, and this is kind of like even another level.
What do you mean those people?
Yeah.
You mean those people?
That's
racist. I can't believe I didn't mention that as like some of the rumors. I left that out somehow.
Yeah.
There was a time where people thought I was like blowing the government or something. I was like, Jesus, what the fuck?
That'll blow the back of your head out.
No.
We're spokes today in Twitter, so.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff I can't say. I'm tempted to even pull up an email from an executive at the IMF that they sent me. They were so receptive to it. And like, first of all, hear me out. Like, you guys got to know I'm not dumb enough to get a compliment from the IMF and be like, oh, like, woo, like, come on. And like, so I know what's going on, but they reached out and they said, listen, we think you're onto something. Like, but they did it in a way of like, we want to understand the future of cross-border payments. That's what they said. They didn't say like, fuck you for El Salvador, explain yourself. They were like, we've heard your podcast. We've seen what you said on TV and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And we are very interested in hearing a conversation where you can present and we can ask very specific questions on how that works. And that's what it was about. And so to be clear, after the presentation that you guys saw, there was dialogue where they were like, okay, wait, so how does Lightning, and like, so you're hedging, so like, how does the dollar turn to euros over it? And I'm like explaining all this stuff. And then afterwards, they all followed up and were like, yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And it's also awesome because it's an open standard to where they don't have to like fund initiatives or tell Western Union to entertain it. Everyone's going to build on it. You know what I mean? And so to that point though, listen, like, do I believe them? Do I think it matters whether they care or not? No. But I mean, like people want to know my opinion on how the world could be a better place. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm on this podcast. Like, I think it's important, right? Like Sailor always says, the best thing you could do is be vocal about Bitcoin and convince somebody, orange pill somebody. If you orange pill a person a day for the rest of your life, you're a good human being.
So Jack, when you're talking to the people at the IMF, in your opinion, do you get a feel that they know what they're talking about? Have they gone down the rabbit hole any bit, or are you still like talking them through the basics? And what's your feel? Are they doing their homework there? Is there a shift going on?
A little bit of both. I mean, to some of it, it's like I'm talking to a toddler. But then you also got to respect the fact that, no, I mean, they're smart people, dude. Listen, like, yo, Jamie Dimon's a very smart guy. Like, love him or hate him, you're not an idiot. You could be dumb in certain aspects or on certain topics, or ignorant or egotistic. But you're not an idiot.
I don't think anybody is saying that he's dumb. We're saying that his ethics are like wrong, basically.
So that's my point. I agree wholeheartedly with that. So like, they didn't understand Bitcoin holistically. They were very curious about Lightning, and a lot of the questions too were kind of like, okay, where does KYC, how should we regulate this? I'm like, the fuck, like, how's Venmo regulated? It's the same thing. I'm just using a better monetary network under the hood. Like, the fuck? They were like, oh, I never thought of it that way. It's like, well, how the fuck were you thinking about it? So like that, those type of questions, I was like, what is this? But then they were like really great questions about, they've thought a lot about cross-border payments. They've interfaced with UN and the G20 and this kind of collective mandate to make sure cross-border payments are more inclusive. And they were like, wow, okay, so Lightning kind of is like correspondent. It achieves what correspondent banking does, but more efficiently, and it's open. And so like they were like good questions, and they were bright. And then they were kind of like questions that I thought were a waste of time. But wholeheartedly, in the same way that we know Jamie Dimon is smart, they're smart.
Personal opinion, I hear what you're saying, Jack. In the end, they're just people like us. But as a Greek, fuck the IMF, they're economical hitmen. They can go fuck themselves. And in the end, in 10 years, buy my fucking Bitcoin if you can, bitch.
I mean, I don't get myself in trouble, but I'm not mad at you. How about that?
Let's face it, they've got their own incentives, and they're probably not pumping you for the greater good. They're pumping you for information to figure out how they can incorporate the best of what you're doing into their closed wall system, right? That's the bottom line. They won't be thinking about this from an altruistic point of view of how they can make things more open and fair. They'll be thinking about it, how they continue to progress the work of the IMF that they've been progressing for decades, which is to maintain control at the expense of everybody else. But I mean, I guess back to your comment, go on.
I was just saying, when you're so close to the money printer and you're getting paid off the money printer, someone like a Jamie Dimon or whoever, Buffett, Munger, these guys, obviously they don't want Bitcoin to succeed. and they want to slow it down because they're living in their boomer world on their boomer system, which they've been able to benefit off of for their whole lives. And so the real question is, when do they realize that they're actually going to get more benefits from switching over to Bitcoin than from staying in this old system and clinging on and white knuckling onto an old system that's dying? That's like the bigger question. When do these people realize that they're going to actually themselves are going to be more incentivized?
Yeah.
Right.
I imagine some of them have at an individual level, right? You know, because it's going to play out at the individual level before it plays out at the organizational level.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of the conversation I was alluding to with the CEO of the massive finance company. Is like, he smells the blood, and he described it to me as like an art. He's like, integrating and being interoperable with the open system implies that my closed system's dead. You know, not overnight, but they don't coexist in perpetuity. So he's like, shit. It's kind of like, when do you jump ship? What, like, you know, it's like, you don't want to be the first to jump, but if you risk being on the boat when it sinks, you're gonna die. And he's like, it's kind of, that's the art. And but exclusive of like Bitcoin, that's kind of the art of being a leader and the CEO of anything, is like being able to iterate and navigate through, you know, iterations of innovation and different life cycles of experiences and tooling. And so he's like, this is just another day at the office, but this shit's fucking crazy. And so it's probably this, yeah, to your point, Sean, it's probably the same for the IMF, maybe. And yeah, I guess the other thing too is, like, I saw on the internet a lot of comments of like, bro, they're juicing you for info, like, don't tell them anything. It's like, listen, guys, like, all the code's open source. Like, if we're gonna change the world by keeping a secret, like, I don't know what weed you're smoking, but pass that shit. Like, there's just no way. Like, the whole point that I told them is it's an open standard, and there's going to be people that build experiences on it. And you're already seeing countries prioritize and optimize and adopt these experiences as opposed to the other ones that you're offering. So my point was, like,
you had a brief pause just there when you said countries, like you didn't want to mention the other one. What's the other one?
Yeah.
I'm too experienced at this point. You could have got me like 8 months ago.
All right, I got a better question then. All right, so your birthday's coming up in a few months. What are you excited to have as your first beer?
Creepy? How do you know that?
That is fucking weird. I like Natty Light, but yeah, that's the other thing too. I'm not that young anymore. People think I'm younger than I am. I look young. 27. I'm drinking a Bud Light right now, and I'm a simple man, Greg. I'm a simple man.
Bud Light, it's not a beer.
The best place to have chicken in El Zante.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Garten. I liked Garten a lot. The salmon salad, that's what to get. But I mean, you gotta get the pupusas, man. No matter where you are, there's nothing like talking about just like fried meat and cheese and bread. Like, I don't give a fuck where you come from. That shit's good. So,
top 3 favorite podcasts.
Top 3 favorite podcasts?
Yeah.
Meme Factory.
Let's fucking go.
You don't gotta lie. You don't gotta lie to us.
No, I'm an avid listener to Tales from the Crypt, Stefan Livera, obviously my buddy Peter McCormick, Pomp. I don't know. I listen to all the same shit you guys listen to. Rogan, I guess, but I haven't been listening that much, honestly. I don't know. I'm a Bitcoiner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, how did you, so like, it's interesting, right? When you think of the things that Saylor talks about with Bitcoin, he always talks about it being like, you know, reserve asset, like property, savings, the store of value, right? Like the store of value. And like, when you talk about it, you're like the first person that opened my mind up to the big B of Bitcoin, which is the monetary network, the open monetary network. When did that click for you? How did that ever click, or how did that ever function? And you're like, okay, there's Bitcoin, like the asset, the currency, whatever you want to call it, which is the little case B, and then you got the big case B, which is the open monetary network. How did you ever put those two and two together? Because you're always talking about that.
Yeah, dude. Well, first of all, there are people that also shit on me for like, you can't separate the two, like Jack's being disingenuous. Like, first of all, I know, man. Like, I'm fucking, you go on CNN and talk to like boomers, like, we got 60 seconds to answer. Like, when I talked to the IMF, I did both. Like, blow me, get the fuck out of here. So, let me address that first of all. I know. So, for those that don't know, I was the one that started one of the first open source Lightning wallets. The story behind that was we were in the block size war and people didn't believe in Lightning, man. Like, we're in a way different time than we are now. And it was like, oh, this Lightning thing's dumb. It's too technical. We got to increase the block size. And so my opinion was, well, if I build a wallet that like looks cool and people can like click pay and it settles instantly, then everyone will realize like, oh shit, like this thing works. We don't have to raise the block size. So I started this. This was in the summer of 2017. And I was never intending for my work on Lightning, by the way, to ever be like a CEO or ever, like that was never, ever my intention. I didn't want to build a company. I was like, how can I help resolve the block size war and ensure that like the Bitcoin monetary policy and the properties of the system, we never hard forked? I was like, okay, like I can build a Lightning wallet and show the world like all the like fancy shit Roast Beef was doing and all those guys. Like I can like allow the world to visualize it, be like, oh shit, like there's a future with this thing. And then that from 2017 to 2019, that's all I did. And at that time, like, so I'd made one of the first, I don't want to say the first, I'll trigger somebody. One of the first mainnet Lightning payments with Charlie Lee back in the day. And then you started to get these experiences where I would like make a payment to someone anonymous in like the UK. And you'd make a Lightning payment and then I'd send him my address to deliver a pizza. And in return, he'd order me Papa John's. And it was kind of like, we were fucking around, right? Like it was like we had this payment system and we were like exchanging value. It was like, how can I buy a pizza with it? And someone on IRC was like, you should send me Bitcoin, like pay this Lightning invoice and I'll order you pizza, right? And we were fucking around. But then it was like those levels of experimentation where I was like, wait a second, like I just made a cross-border payment, right? Where the money settled instantly. I didn't know the person, I didn't know their name, but they were able to accept the payment without any fraud risk because it was irreversible. The thing that they got was as valuable where I am in the US when then they were in the UK, right? So it was like a currency that was respected and valued globally. It never turned off. It settled instantly. It didn't cost us anything to process it. There were no intermediaries in between the middle of us, and it carried enough value where the person had confidence to actually deliver me a service or a good. And of course, it was like fucking pizza and we were fucking around. But if you think about it like that, you're like, no other monetary network could do that. And so I would sit and like FaceTime my dad. And I'd be like, yo, either I'm like a dumbass and I have like severe brain injuries, or like I'm using the future of payments and no one gives a fuck.
And you didn't even pay like 5,000 Bitcoins for it.
No, I didn't. and so I was like, this is a true story though. I was like, okay. I was like, why does no one care? And I started to go through, you can read my very first blog post on Strike. I had all of these opinions. I was like, first of all, no one cares because no one wants to spend Bitcoin. If you spend Bitcoin, you're an idiot because of what Yellow just said. 10 years later, you bought a pizza for $10 million. So no one wants to spend it because if you hold Bitcoin, you get rich. It's very simple. You also don't want to spend it because the accounting and the tax headaches. You also don't want to spend it because it's kind of complicated to acquire it and then position yourself in a way to make use for it, like set up the Lightning node and like buy the Raspberry Pi and shit. So I had come up with all these things. And then I was like, wait a second. If I just was able to pay this dude for pizza from my Chase account, But instead of using Western Union, I built software that just took it from my Chase account because I wasn't trying to spend my own Bitcoin. So I was like, all these Lightning apps were popping up. There was like the El Pollo feed to like feed chickens and shit and like Fold. And I was like, if I can just like link my Chase account to my Lightning node, it will take the dollars out and then puke Bitcoin out. Then like it would be lit. And then if the other person wanted to then take the Bitcoin in and convert it back to euros, then that would be lit too. And then I realized like, oh, Bitcoin as an asset, the harder money will always win. Someone's preference to hold Bitcoin or euros or dollars or whatever is totally separate from the experience of escrowing value between parties. Like if the merchant wants to take the Bitcoin in and hold the Bitcoin, all the power to them. They want euros, they want euros. Over a long enough time, the harder money is going to win. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fact that like I'm doing magical shit in transferring value that like Visa just simply can't do. And so then I told the Zap team at the time, well, like the top contributors of Zap, there was no team. I was like, yo, we should hack on this thing. And I think it's cool as fuck. And then we built the first version. I wrote a blog post about it. And then this one investor was like, I think this is like the future of payments. This could be one of the biggest companies in the world. And then that's when it became a company, but it was never supposed to be a company. So that's the whole story.
As everything good, it started like organically and it grew.
Yeah.
Just grew.
Yeah.
Have any legacy financial institutions tried to buy you?
Yeah. There's actually.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Damn, this podcast is gonna be crazy. There's so many stories I've never told before. I got a very like big offer. Well, I mean, you guys gotta know. Like, I started working on Zap when I was like 23 or something, and so I get a huge offer at 26. What's huge? I'm not gonna like say numbers or anything, but I was an open source, like just a pleb Bitcoiner, and someone flew into my crib and like put a huge number in my face. And I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy. I could like, wow, I never thought. And there are a lot of people, mentors of mine, folks you guys know in the industry, a ton of shit, where they sat me down and they were like, bro, the day that you work for someone else and aren't allowed to just be curious and create would be a really sad day for humanity. And it was actually the investor that read my blog post and actually was like, you need to turn this into a company and I need to fund you because you need resources to make this vision real because the world will be better. He actually left his venture capital firm, super successful guy. So the first time I've ever heard of this, to join the company. And so now he's my CBO. And it was him. He was like, yo, I've been in the VC world. I've funded companies that have gone from where you are to some of the biggest companies in the world. And I know you're young and you didn't intend to be in this position, but the day that you work for someone else and the day that Strike and the vision and the direction of it isn't yours is a very sad day. And I will do anything to protect your ability to be an unbounded creator for as long as I'm alive. And he was like, you need to be the CEO of this thing forever. And if anything, it's like the world would be better if that was the case. And it was like a super real moment for me, whereas the first time I was like, wow, I am a CEO and this is a company. This isn't like a fucking project. And it was very like intense, and I turned it down, obviously. And then since then, yeah, like I get some inquiries, but I'm sure every Bitcoin company does. I also don't want to be like, yeah, Strike's fucking tight. Like I'm sure everyone does. And yeah, but ever since then, it's never been a question. Like I'm going to be the CEO of this thing forever. And I will die trying to push for what I think is right. And my vehicle is Strike. So
yeah, dude, you got a lot of good people rooting for you. And in your position, there's gonna be a lot of temptations. But just remember, Satoshi got a million Bitcoin sitting somewhere he has never touched.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
the numbers don't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys know, but I owe everything to this community, man. And it's true. But you grow up like as a kid, you grow up like, damn, like that guy's in a big house. How do you get that? Oh, he was CEO and he made a lot of money. And so you as a kid, you're like, damn, like that's what I want. And then that was just the first moment for me where I was like really starting to grow up in real time. And yeah, I mean that's the honest truth of the whole thing. So, but no, yeah, I'm gonna be the CEO of this thing forever. And I think the other thing I think too is really important is whenever people are interested in working with us or acquiring shares or something, what I tell them is like, the better thing for you to do is to be interoperable with the network, because you guys don't understand. And I start to educate them like, there's going to be a massive value transfer. And the notion that you need to acquire, like, it's not a winner takes all market. Like there's no acquiring like the winner. Like hurry up and be one of the many winners, right? Like there's Citibank, Chase Bank, Bank of America. Like there's a lot of people that share in the pie of financial experiences. And I think 20 years from now, you won't recognize many names. And so I think what would be most valuable for everyone, including Strike, is the more people that come on. So that's been my answer to them.
Awesome. But hats off to you, man. I mean, there's not many people I think that would do that and take that route. So full fucking credit to you, mate. Well,
and hats off to everybody on Strike, especially the number 2 that he didn't want to join. I asked him to join, and he was like, oh, I'm behind the scenes guy. I don't like this shit.
Yeah, Dylan.
See there now?
I see him in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I mean...
we're talking about you, Dylan. You can't do shit.
Yeah, there's so many unsung heroes with Strike. Yeah, we're a huge company, man. I don't see the benefit in disclosing like a lot of the internal details. But that isn't in a way to like discredit anyone that's here. Like it is. I'm not joking when I'm rarely like one of the smartest or one of the most knowledgeable in any given meeting. This is such a talented team. And I think it says more about the mission of the company and what Bitcoin enables like a CEO like me to do and what it enables me to attract than anything else. And so there's just like the most talented, passionate people come because this is like one of the best tools for them to contribute to the world. You know what I mean? Like how else can you like make such an outsized impact on society? And people are attracted to that notion. And so, yeah, people like Dylan and everyone else at the company are the ones that are doing a lot of the hard shit. I do shit like drink beers and talk to you guys. So shout out to the whole team.
I don't think so. And we're not selling for the part of Strike that is listening now, and we're not saying anything about the inside of the companies happening and shit. We're talking about people and how fun and hardworking they are.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's a good environment too, man. Like,
yeah, it's fun.
It's fun, man. Yeah.
Labra.
So it's not fun when you get locked in the office.
What's up?
It's not fun when you get locked in the office.
Yeah, that's a you problem, bro. That's not
with
me.
No toilet roll.
Do you have Greg muted on Twitter?
No, I don't have anyone muted.
That was
any big announcements? Are you going to be speaking in Miami again next year?
Yeah.
And have you got any more announcements planned like you did last year?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Are we climbing another hill? To die
you know what's really funny? Rockstar Dev, another like Strike guy that
Uncle.
Yeah, Uncle. He doesn't get enough credit, man. He's the best. Yeah. And he's built the team more or less, especially all of the engineering team he's built and hired and recruited. And he makes this joke in interviews where people will be like, I'm here, I'm passionate, I want to die on the hill with Jack. And he's like, it's unfortunate. Like, Jack's really busy. You're going to have to die on the hill with me. They're like, never mind, I don't want to work here anymore. No, I got a ton of shit up my sleeve, dude. It's Bitcoin it's easy to make progress. It's easy to make change. We're not, it's not just me. We're not like delivering food or like improving search. Like, we're talking about like changing everything. And so that means every step forward is like usually a monumental fucking step, you know? And so, yeah, hopefully, I know I'll have a ton of shit. And what's the date? I even got
new companies integrating the API.
Yep.
New countries integrating the API.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
sure.
mentioned another country earlier, I think.
He did, right? Somebody cut him off.
Yeah. Which
No,
country?
dude, we're.
I want to hear Labra's question.
Oh, me too.
No, actually, we need to ask this question. I think Pedro has to do that with his ASMR voice.
Okay.
So Pedro, ask Art this question, please.
Do I pause for like a minute first?
Yes, and you have to look on your notes.
Let me
Like
check my
Ardi's.
notes for
Yeah,
RD's question.
Yeah.
Jack. Shit, I can't do an accent for shit. So here we go. If the
Sounds
meme,
like David Brent from The Office.
Nobody knows who that is.
if the meme factory did exist, which we all know it doesn't,
Oh my God.
which one of us would you like? Which one of us would you retweet? And which one of us would you mute?
Is this like a spinoff of Marry Fuck Kill?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Ardi's
Yes.
question. He does it like in every test stream.
I feel like this isn't fair because some of you guys I hang out with like
Life's-
way more.
Life's
on
not fair,
Slack.
Jack.
Yeah.
Sometimes you fall off the balcony. Sometimes you get laid.
Sometimes both.
So true, it hurts. Fuck.
Sometimes you ask me for a meme and you get something you know you can't post.
Yeah, I got.
Today
Yeah.
I laughed so much.
That was disgusting, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a date in an hour and a half. So if you don't hear from me, that means I fell off a balcony, man.
All right.
Hey.
If you do hear from me, that means I got laid.
Make sure to tweet that one out.
Tweet later on tonight, Jack. Tweet later on tonight.
Sean, do you have an invite you want to extend?
I'll reply to the tweet of the podcast link, and that will be my bat signal that I didn't fall. How about that?
All right.
Just give us a thumbs up or something.
Yeah.
We're concerned. We're just concerned about your well-being.
I would. What was it like? Retweet. What was the last one?
Mute.
Block. Mute. This is such a dumb fucking question.
Your dumb
I
fucking
know.
question.
I know. We
How
all
are
know.
you today?
I would mute Greg. I think that's the scientific answer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not personal, Greg. That's science.
It's just math.
Yeah, it's math.
11th grade.
It was in the white paper. I would like. I don't know. I would like Sean retweet yellow. Is that fair?
Oh,
That's fair. That's fair.
got the like.
I feel like there's no right answer there.
Fuck you, Ardi.
Fuck you, RD. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Hey, Jack, just because you like me, we have the Bitcoin 2024 halving party coming up. Obviously, the party's for the Bitcoin 2024 halving. And
No way. Get the fuck out of here.
No
you're
shit.
invited.
Is that why you named it that way?
Craig, like Son was so proud for just a second, and then he's like, "Oh shit."
Did you
know what?
Did you just fuck your Greg Jack?
The 2024 having party will happen before Strike Europe, in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah, no. I got the no, dude, I'll be there. I appreciate it. I got the YouTube chat pulled up and I see some of the intense questions that I get all the time. I'm happy to dig into it.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Strike Europe. It's a compliance thing, man. Back when we started, so just to be clear, like it's fully built, which is frustrating. Like, yeah, it's built. And so internally, like we've been able to test it. It works and stuff. So that's frustrating. And it's just about positioning ourselves in a way in which we can launch at scale. And back in the day when I first started all this stuff, I feel like no one really cared about us at all. And that's still a lot true. But there's like a small part that there's a few more eyeballs on us nowadays, and that they've reached out and want to make sure we're doing everything the right way. So that's the truth. And there is a plan in place. I'm just done like giving guest dates because like it's not helpful. I just like get shit on for them. So which I guess I don't care about, but I don't want to like, I don't know. I really hurt people's feelings, I guess. Like there's people on Twitter that are so mad.
If you had to pick one day, what would it be?
Don't answer it, Jack.
Just hypothetically speaking.
We turn it into a meme, so that's a plus.
No date, but it is. The company is a lot bigger. We're a lot more resourced.
Schmeptember.
No, dude, it's one of our top priorities in this upcoming year for sure. That like shit like New York, like I mean,
Wednesday.
Dude. Wednesday. When I'm,
you said earlier, Jack, about like focusing on doing one thing well.
Yep.
Could that be like Europe?
Could that be the one
thing? Make it Europe?
Europe still isn't the UK MTC, so
yeah, fuck you MTC.
Yeah.
No, look, we didn't like detach from Europe.
You left.
You left. You walked out.
So
Brexit.
We're still part of Europe.
You're not.
Not part of the
You're
EU.
like Iceland now or some shit.
Whenever you feel like it.
You're basically Iceland Junior without the energy. Nobody's gonna come mine Bitcoin in the UK. You're fucked.
East Iceland.
You're just an oily fish and chippy Iceland. That's what you are.
With bad teeth.
We want 2022, like shit like New York. When you're building out of your bedroom, you got no chance. But once you get a little bit more help, like New York, we want 2022. But I mean, dude, like I would launch another country right now, but it's kind of the holidays and no one's paying attention. So as soon, like, I don't know, the next few weeks, we're going to turn on another country, maybe 2, maybe 3, and just really start piling it on. So Europe, unfortunately, is harder in the way that New York in the US is harder, but it doesn't mean it can't be done. And
I mean, the Federal Reserve was launched on Christmas Eve in 1913, so no pressure.
Yeah, but that's the truth about
who would win in a basketball match, Jack Mallers or Big Son Harris? Whoever doesn't know, like Big Son Harris is playing for a team now in Spanish league.
Yeah, what do you weigh in at, Sean?
What do I weigh?
Well, so I used to hoop, but I'm fucking 5'8", 155 pounds. So that's why I work on Bitcoin. If I was 6'2", 210, I'd be in the league. So,
Ooh, wow. I'm 6'7", 230. So
Jesus, yeah. I mean, what type of dumbass question is that?
You gotta be thick around me.
What do you play? The 4?
Basketball.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Greg's never played a sport in his life.
Competitive hot dog eating is real.
Nathan's hot dogs do not count.
Bullshit.
Greg,
We counted all of them.
basketball.
Look, RD's not here. Somebody's got to be
my point
stupid.
guard. How about that? You're the point guard. I'm the power forward. Same team.
Done.
There we go.
I thought you were power bottom.
Pick and roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stockton to Malone.
Love that.
So is the Swan team, basketball team, Strike basketball team, the matchup happening or what?
Let's play, man.
I would like to see that.
I'm down.
Corey.
Yeah, Corey's in the chat.
We got a few hoopers at Strike. We're better at writing code, but I think we could ball for sure. Should
Nice.
play in Miami or something.
MG Smith says potato throwing.
Potato. I wouldn't throw my own kin.
Guys, does anybody have any question? Because I think it's like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
well, I
we'll
mean,
be on.
I have a little bit. I moved my date back when Greg moved this for me, and so I moved the date back. So I have until, I don't know, like 20, 30 more minutes, unless it's up to you guys.
Yeah, great.
How'd you find her? How'd she find you?
Lightning Network Tinder.
She is a friend, mutual friends.
Dude, what do you ask a girl? I've always asked this question. Oh, guys.
Oh,
Finally, finally.
This is as bad as our
I'm
D's
one of the
question.
few single
yeah, it's
members.
bad. It's
I'm
bad.
one of the few single guys here on the Meme Factory. And when you go on a first date with a girl and your mind's constantly thinking about Bitcoin, what do you talk about when you're on a date with a girl?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that was gonna be my answer. Nah, dude. I mean, like, the player in me. No, like, there's rules to the game, and you gotta
Right, there's
always,
rules.
like, if you're talking, the date's not going well. So, always ask her questions. Pretend like you give a shit, and then once you got her, then
Separate entirely.
Yeah, then you win. So that's my. I mean, dude, it was like I don't know, date 2. I was like, fucking monetary expansion. So, first date though, it was like, yeah, like
And then it was at that point
marketing.
that she pushed you out off the balcony, right?
Yeah, and then once they throw you off the balcony and they're like, Bitcoin's a scam, why don't we go to more happy hours? Then you're single. That's how it works.
What did you say that got you thrown off the balcony?
No, dude. I mean, dude, if anyone
Lie now. It's way better. It's way better than saying I slipped. This is your chance.
Don't do any buzz.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm waiting for Dylan to back me up on this. The truth is, it was just, dude, I was, 22, 23. It was a shitty part of Chicago, and the rail it was like a walk up to the front door, and the rail was just rusted. So the dude,
The dude you went to see.
I settled in Sats. Fuck you. I settled in Sats. It was a lawsuit and everything. It was just a rusted, really poorly taken care of property, and it just rusted out and flipped me over the side.
Corey,
There was no murder attempt.
Corey is saying, I'm not above selling some stock to get some ringers on the team if we set a date.
I'm 6'4", Corey.
Corey's gonna sell stock in his
Dean
company
Wolf.
to win a basketball tournament.
Corey's gonna back out like he did last year, not show up.
What else? I see Dylan in the chat. Do we have any questions from Jack's tweet? Let's see.
We had some under his Twitter.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Say something.
Let me
Ask.
see.
What
ask
is
one of
just
Yellow, throw some money at him to keep him occupied.
just for the people
Okay.
at home, Jack, lift up your feet. What have you got on your feet?
Bro, what type of dumbass question is that?
It
There.
wasn't mine.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
knew it.
Crocs.
Take
Oh
it off.
yeah.
Take it off.
Take it off.
Go as those little
Take
badges.
it off. Jesus Christ.
There we fucking go.
There you
Hey,
go.
we had the Bitcoin car premiere this year. Is it coming back next year?
Maybe. Hello.
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 Sats are calling.
You're not getting laid tonight. I guarantee it.
I'm down. No, dude, I would love to do the Bitcoin car. 100%. Did someone ask that? Yeah, absolutely. No, the Ed Carpenter team's the best. I got a bond with those guys forever, man. That was as much of them as anybody else. So I know that they're into it. They're Bitcoiners.
They told me I could drive the car whenever I wanted.
No, they lied.
We're not talking about that fucking car.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's the Bitcoin car.
No, it's not. It's like the
I've explained this to you a million times. The Bigfoot XL.
No, it's not.
No, it's absolutely the big. It has the Bitcoin logo all over it.
It's not.
Show me another Bitcoin car that can tow that much.
For the actual car to be moved, you potato.
Can somebody mute Greg? We still have Jack here.
Right.
There's so many questions under here. Holy shit.
Ask some question.
Well, I picked out like a few from Twitter, and I've only got one left.
Yeah.
And this is what's the strongest argument against Bitcoin?
What are you talking about? There are 76 questions.
No.
Did you count them already? Yellow
conversation. I've not been. This was like an hour ago, right?
That's why,
what ago?
You guys used to have. You guys used to have an empire. You guys used to have an empire, dude. Come on.
You what?
What's the strongest argument against Bitcoin you've heard in 2021, Jack? From all these powerful people that you've been talking to,
Bob Saget.
What was the best argument you've heard against Bitcoin? That was the question.
You guys want to mute me?
Oscar.
I don't think
Oscar L. Ray.
There hasn't been any strong argument against it. It's been more of like, first of all, no one understands it, by the way. Like, I don't think people really appreciate how far behind the rest of the world is. So that's the one, is that I don't even think they understand it well enough to argue against it. So, like, first you understand it, argue against it, or else you just sound like a dumbass, which, like, we've all seen Peter Schiff, right? So, like, no, I mean, some of the more interesting conversation is more about, like, how, if someone were to try and stop it, how would they reasonably go about doing that? Or, like,
they're asking for a friend.
No, this isn't like the IMF or anything. These are like people. No, these are good people, and they're like so. One of the most interesting conversations I've had recently was like a lot of the shit the Chinese government is trying to do, and like everyone's on the same page. Like, not good shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, and that some of that stuff is scary. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. There's no fucking good arguments against Bitcoin. What do you mean? So that's my answer.
All right.
Another question is, in all capital letters. I got a question. When Europe, motherfucker? I just like the style. Yelling back. I just like the style, so I just mentioned.
Yeah, that's nice. A lot of these questions are actually.
We have answered that question.
We have answered.
Tomorrow.
There you
go. There's also a question that's not a question, and I just like to echo it, man, because we're here from like all different continents, you know, and we're all like watching Strike and what you're doing globally. So big thank you from all of us, man. It's amazing. So,
yeah, man.
It's really cool.
All right, Jack. Here's a question you asked. What celebrities have you had a crush on? Here's a better question.
Okay.
If we were to ask Jessica Vaughan how things went after you guys went to watch Renus Vickey racing the Bitcoin car, how did the evening go?
Did you fall off a balcony?
Yes, I did fall off the balcony. No. Jessica is a beautiful inside and out, great friend that
okay.
Yeah.
Humble guy. We got a humble guy right here.
Yeah, great friend. Great friend. She's great.
That's good. Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you.
Another pleb is asking, what is your password? You should answer that.
Europe 2022.
Can plebs ever invest in Strike or just the VCs?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know how that would. I mean, Strike is privately held. We're venture backed, obviously, as I've described. So I don't know of a vehicle to make that happen.
Just let me privately hold some.
Trick question. Plebs will only invest in Bitcoin. So
Yeah, that's my real answer though. Is like, I don't know if Strike's gonna be able to out return Bitcoin, right? Like, so if you just buy Bitcoin, we're all working towards the same thing. But no, I don't know. Hopefully,
it will be amazing to see like a kind of like I don't know, procedure other than the fucking IPO, like for plebs to invest in Bitcoin companies without the fucking token, of course. I don't know how that can happen, but who fucking knows? Whoever is talking about fucking Bitcoin DeFi, whatever that is, like make it happen.
Yeah. On the topic of like what do I decide to focus on, that's one of the things, like how to get plebs industry. I have no fucking idea. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know.
Do you have your next chess move planned out for the next big announcement? So you already started the game.
Yeah.
Where's the pawn going next?
I'll parlay this into answering a lot of these questions I see on Twitter. We're very likely going to be launching a bunch of new countries as soon as the holidays are over. The Strike card is coming along. We're really excited about that. That should be launching very soon. A lot of more partners on the API. Nice. I think, yeah. We want more on the acquiring side. I think there's a lot of awesome solutions on the issuing side. So for those at home, for the kids at home, for those that have the IQ that Greg has.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the explanation.
Yeah, issuing and acquiring is the sender and the receiver. So issuer is the sending side, and the acquiring is like merchant solutions. And a lot of interesting acquirers we're trying to onboard, because it'd be really cool if there was massive acquirers that took advantage of a monetary network that settled instantly. There's no fraud involved. There was no MDR interchange, so there's no fees they had to pay, and that they could kick back rewards back to the person paying and create a flywheel effect that eventually bullies Visa out and JP Morgan Chase, right? So if you think about Strike, you can get your direct deposit to it. And so you get your paycheck to it, and then you can pay over Lightning to buy your groceries or your coffee or whatever. And then that merchant gets the money instantly. Then you know who's not in that user story. Visa doesn't exist in that. JP Morgan Chase doesn't exist in that. And it's a better financial experience for everybody. So we're really excited about growing the network effect by trying to introduce that level of an experience. And to be clear too, what's really great is hopefully something like the Cash App can do the same, right? And then all of a sudden, the more merchants, the more consumers that are interoperable, then all of a sudden, the faster we're bullying out the old legacy, and we're introducing a new environment that we think is more inclusive, better, and enabling better consumer experiences, more global, all that, cheaper, faster, all that shit. So,
shameless question. Are you gonna help us book Jack by sending this episode?
Jack Dorsey?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I could try. I think people sometimes are under like a false impression of the relationship I have with him.
You both have the same name. What do you mean?
No, dude. I actually in my Forbes profile thingy, I put, long before I ever actually had a conversation with the guy, I put that he was like, one of the questions was your dream mentor, or like who inspires you the most in like entrepreneurship and shit. And he was my answer. I really look up to the guy in a lot of ways. But I don't like have his ear or anything, man. Like he's so brilliant. He's probably 10 steps ahead of me. And so I could try my best, but I can't.
Just send one DM. That's all I ask.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
If you had his ear, where do you think you would keep it?
In my car.
God damn it, Craig. Hodl Vault Bitcoin asks, I want to work for you, but just have passed the 40s. Is it too late?
Yes.
Yeah.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Greg's getting fired in a couple of years.
Never too late, man. And yeah, I see a lot of like, are we hiring? Fucking go on our website. Yeah, I'm always hiring. Always. Our job should be listed. Apply, please. We really just try and find like really passionate Bitcoiners. People don't, dude, here's the thing too, man. Like there's this false notion that like the world is changed by people who are like uniquely smart and was like born like a genius. Like get that dumbass Vitalik shit out of here, man. Like the world is changed by, like we're all fucking the same. Like the world is changed by people that care enough. You know, the most inflated asset in the world? Ideas, bro. Ideas. Everyone has the same idea, or ideas are a dime a dozen. And that's the most inflated asset in the history of our species. The people that actually make the change are the people that care enough and dedicate themselves to implementing the ideas. And that's the people we hire. So for people that are like, am I too old? Am I not smart enough? Like, dude, this isn't like Vitalik, like, whoa, the guy's like geniusly autistic. Like that's a fucking like scam. If you care enough to change the world, like we hire for that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Do you hire dogs?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm applying now.
Does Strike hodl more Bitcoin than Coinbase?
How much do they hodl?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Just sailors' bags, I guess.
We got some coin. But I don't know. Coinbase, I mean, as much as I think that they're a piece of shit, they're pretty big. So one day we will, for sure.
How big of a piece of shit would you say that they are? How many football fields full of shit?
I don't know. As big as they come. As big as they come. Yeah, everyone knows my opinion on Coinbase.
Like stack like 10 football fields together, fill it with shit. We're talking human shit. We're talking horse shit.
You remind me of like a fucking like 4-year-old with Legos. Greg's like, build like a castle.
You build the shit castle, and then you say that's Coinbase.
Shit castle. Yeah, that big one.
And this is the Slack room. This is basically the Slack room.
4,500 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid amount. No, we're not there yet, but we're coming. Sailors beat them. Dude, Sailor's the man.
Yes.
What about
privately he owns
what about Ross Stevens? Because Nidig are involved with you guys, right? Can you coax Ross into giving more public appearances? Because he does a pretty fucking great job. Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you get Ross on the show, Jack?
I'll ask him, dude. Ross is the man. Ross is the man.
I mean, we've only seen him a few times, but he delivers the goods each time. He's a bit shy though, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own flavor of tea. Ross is a fucking fantastic dude. Very like super principled man, you know, like, so, he's a great guy. And, yeah, I chat with Ross a decent amount. I could definitely shoot him a ping. And I'm a big fan of NIDIG, and that's another one of the companies I'm excited to get interoperable with Lightning and grow the pie. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm a fan of him and NIDIG and Robbie and the whole squad over there.
I can't believe we have Jack Mahlers on our show right now, and we're soliciting him to get us more guests.
Yeah, that's of course. What show did you think this was?
Yeah.
We made him read our ad copy so we can get paid.
That ad was like, who wrote that?
Nobody.
RD
wrote
it.
Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Nobody wrote it.
Why you cut my Narnia joke, you potato?
Because it didn't make any fucking sense.
You were laughing. You were laughing.
And then I laughed harder when I changed it.
Yeah.
Since we're doing like really weird requests, could you maybe just like say hello to BTC Moon guy in the chat, because he's always around. He's just the coolest guy in the chat.
He's a super fun.
BTC Moon guy. Wait, say something in the chat so I can see you.
He did. He's up
What's
there.
up, brother?
3 up.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Much love. A hello from the closet. Hat tip.
Perfect.
From Narnia.
Oh, you cut it.
I think this is it, huh?
Yeah, I think this is I'm good.
Yeah. You're good?
You're good.
It's a good test stream.
He's going to get us
You
Ross
guys-
Stevens. He promised to give us all shares in Strike, right?
What's up is
And
happening
Europe
about
coming
coin
this month.
Hold on, Sean, you didn't tell Jack when is the 2024 having?
He
in
did.
blocks?
He did. He did.
In
Whatever
blocks.
you must.
No, I didn't
must
tell him
have
in
done.
block height.
In
Oh
block.
yeah.
Block at 860,000.
Fuck, shit.
About 10 blocks before Striker. So,
Jesus Christ, son.
On a Wednesday.
We really appreciate your time, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Can you, Jack? Can you dunk on the son's face? Can you
Oh,
dunk on his face?
hell no.
Please do.
I wish, man. No, I appreciate you guys.
thanks, Jack.
Yeah, you guys are the best, man. You keep me sane.
No, you.
You know, the medium is the message by that like famous philosopher or whatever. The memes are the message. I believe that. And you guys rock, dude. I'm a big fan. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
for
Come
being
back
here, man.
anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah. Peace out.
Cheers.
Thank you, Jack.
Cheers.
Much love,
Cheers.
everyone. Happy holidays.
Good night.